What's up everyone? I'm going over the top 5 reasons of why I fell in love with New York City. But obviously before we get into the actual video itself, be sure and subscribe if you guys like these types of videos where I just go through and talk to you guys. And comment what your favorite city is down below in the comments and tell me why. Let's get to the video. Starting us off at number 1, I have got to go with the New York City skyline. Now, before you all go in the comments and tell me that Los Angeles or Chicago skyline is better than New York City's, hear me out as to why. I genuinely have never met a single person on this earth who has seen a picture of this and told me that they didn't at least admit that it was really gorgeous. I just love New York in general, so... Like, come on! New York City has got to be one of the most beautiful cities in the entire world. I've never met a single person who has ever lived or not lived in New York and has not at least admitted the city looks just dang gorgeous. Coming in at the number 4 spot, I'd have to say food. That is exclusive to New York City. Some of these food items, pizza, burgers, steak, any food that you could possibly think of, New York City probably has a better version of that type of food. I mean, seriously, you go into one of those restaurants at Times Square and their juicy burgers and their meaty pizza. Oh, if you're visiting New York City on a 3-day trip, I highly recommend a pizza shop, burger shop, steak shop. I'll also put a map of New York City in the description below. Know what to go to when you eventually go to New York City to get some quality food. Perfect example. One time I was at a McDonald's in Times Square. Me and my sister had ordered McCafe coffees. I remember going down to the front lobby, sitting there for a solid 45 minutes. That is nearly 75% or a quarter and more of an hour that I was waiting at the front lobby for a freaking McCafe coffee. And then eventually the guy came out, gave us our 2 coffees, coming out to be $24.99. This is the one thing in New York that really kind of pisses me off. Because why does everything have to be so expensive? Even the living expenses are absolutely ridiculous. I can't even imagine how much it is to live on Manhattan, like seriously. Anyways, moving on to number 3, I have to say the things that you can do in New York. Like seriously, there is not a moment in time where you are not doing anything. There's so many places to see, so many shops to visit, things to do, buildings to see, people to talk to. I mean seriously, you can get easily overwhelmed with the amount of things going on. There's so much to do in New York. Okay, number 2 has got to be hotels and airport transit in New York City. When you live in New York City, which I personally don't, you have to get kind of used to the busyness of the city, used to going fast around the streets, talking to people super fast, being able to know how to order a dang McNugget from a McDonald's on the spot when you know how to. Hotels and airport transit in New York City. I think this is personally the most important part for people to know what to do when they get to New York City. Hotels are ridiculously expensive in New York. From my experience of traveling and staying in New York City, I've had my fair share of experiences with staying in hotels and traveling to airports and everything. Now, I'm probably gonna make a separate video on how to survive being in a dang airport. The New York City hotel, the busiest place in America. Alright, so the first thing you want to do when you get to a New York City hotel is admire the surroundings that are surrounding you. Because let me tell you this, I'm gonna show you a clip from my Instagram and YouTube vlogs. A New York City hotel legitimately looks like the inside of the freaking White House. Why does it look so elegant? Who am I to say? Who am I to say? No, I don't live in New York. Your mom lives in New York. That's who lives in New York. I think one of the best experiences you'll ever have when you visit New York City has gotta be just looking inside of your hotel room for the very first time. Looking how elegant the bathrooms are. I mean seriously, why do the bathrooms look so nice? They're bathrooms for Christ's sakes. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have Times freaking Square. If you have ever been to New York and you haven't visited Times Square, what is wrong with you? Times Square is ginormous. Times Square is just so magical. It is just absolutely insane how many things to see, things to do, and people to talk to there is in New York City. Fun fact, guys, before you click off the video because I'm so boring, I have actually visited Times Square on multiple occasions. I actually purchased this Empire State Building that you see here. It is literally just a little tiny replica.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
and it says Empire State on the front, and then on the back it says New York. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Hope you have a good day.